We think long and hard before we report on security failures that terrorists could take advantage of. But what we found in New York in the city's subway system is no secret. It is a giant vulnerability that seems to be the result of politics, finger-pointing, and indifference.
New York has done a lot to make itself safer. But 8 years after the 9/11 attacks, experts say the city's subways remain a leading and unnecessarily vulnerable target, especially the many subway tunnels that run under the East River.
And terrorists, if they did surveillance, would know that security hasn't really improved since 9/11.
An official report identified the underwater tunnels as the Achilles heel of the system. An explosion and a breach down here could shut down the entire system for years.
The water of the East River would start pouring in, and it would not stop.
It would flood the entire system?
Right. The report estimated about 19,000 casualties.
Improving tunnel security was supposed to be a top priority. And 4 years ago, the agency in charge announced a state-of-the-art surveillance system from Lockheed Martin at a cost of more than $200 million.
It will give us an alert that we can respond and hopefully prevent an attack from happening.
Lockheed Martin's system was supposed to be in operation last year, but today,
8 years after the attacks, 4 years after they bought the system, it is still not in place.
Lockheed Martin and the transit agency, the MTA, are now suing each other, and all work has stopped.
They've already paid $250 to $300 million to Lockheed, and the only thing they have to show for it is litigation, being in court.
Washington, Atlanta, and other major cities have already been able to install new surveillance systems. Not so New York.
I think the Secretary of Homeland Security should have on her desk a list of the high priority projects that are in trouble. And this would be high up, if not on the top of that list.
But when we asked Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano about it last week in New York, she seemed unaware of the dispute.
I ride the subway, the mayor rides the subway, the vice mayor rides the subway, so the overall safety of the subways is safe. Now, are we there yet on technology? That I can't comment
This is 8 years after 9/11, though,
that
Secretary.
I can't comment to. Thank you very much.
You're not familiar with this?
Not this lawsuit, no. Thank you.
The Transit Authority and the Lockheed Company blame each other, of course, for the failure to finish the system. Lockheed saying its workers couldn't get access to the underwater tunnels, and the Transit Authority saying Lockheed's system didn't work. But there have been steps to harden or strengthen the tunnels to withstand a blast. Still, the bottom line is security improvements officials said were essential are still not in place, Robin.
Can we learn from others who have transit systems across the world?
Yes, for example, in London, they have floodgates they installed during the Blitz. So if there's an explosion under the Thames, they shut off the tunnels. Not so here. A lot of improvements that could have been made have not been made, caught up in politics and the usual New York government what do you want to call it? I don't want to use the right word, but exactly. Just the bureaucratic delays and struggles to get things done as they fight over contracts.
All right. Well, thank you for your investigation, Brian, as always. Appreciate that.